Hello again, my MMA true believers. I am Jason Burgos for Sherdog.com, and I am joined by a man that has had his biggest MMA win to date last May when he knocked out UFC vet Sage Northcutt in just 29 seconds at One Championship Enter the Dragon. And that is multi-time kickboxing and Muay Thai world champion and the owner of a brand new multi-fight contract with One Championship, and that's the man known as Good Boy Cosmo Alexandre. Mr. Good Boy, sir, thanks for joining me to talk the latest in your life and your career.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Now, you recently signed a new multi-fight deal, like I just mentioned, but your run in MMA has been kind of pretty inconsistent. You didn't fight at all in 2013 and 2015. Then you were away from the sport for another two and a half years before you fought Sage, like I mentioned, and didn't compete again since then. At 38, and a long career in combat sports behind you, some will wonder how much you have left. For those doubters, why should they have hope? You are all in on MMA going forward, and we will finally get to see you consistently compete in this sport for the next couple of years. Or is that why one was the best option long term for you? Because maybe it's not consistency in MMA, it's consistency in three sports we're going to get to see.
Yes. Like I resigned with them first. Like when I stopped fighting MMA on Bellator for like I don't know how many years. I was just fighting kickboxing, Muay Thai. It's because when they released me, I had to sign a contract saying I couldn't fight in UFC or other show at that time. I don't know, it was Strike Force or something like that for 14 months.
Wow.
So like I told them, okay, that's okay. I just want to release because I can't fight Muay Thai. So after that, I was kind of like free, But most of the fights, most of the shows were like asking me, offering Muay Thai fights. So I was like, oh, that's okay. And now with the One Championship is better because I can fight Muay Thai, kickboxing, and MMA.
In the press release about your new deal with One Championship, it mentioned you have designated Dominance and Dominance MMA and Ali Abdelaziz as your new management team, and they settled the contract disputes you had with One. Talk to me about what these issues were with your contract, and how did Ali come into the picture? Like, were you without management before then, or you just chose to make a switch in management because of these contract issues, these disputes that it mentioned?
Yeah, like I had it's kind of like a problem with the One Championship because my first contract was really bad. I did my first contract was really bad, and but after the Sage fight, I tried to talk to them to renew my contract. I had more three fights to do, and I did three. I won two by KO and one I lost. And for me, the biggest problem was when I lost, because few people know was kind of like they kind of like forced me to fight because I didn't want to fight Nikki, right? Was like after my first fight in One Championship, I told them like when I left the ring, I told them, but listen, I can't fight 170 pounds anymore. This way, like the way they do, like you check weight two times, like 2 days in a row, and they test you. You cannot drop water. You have to fight the weight you walk, right?
Yeah.
So after the fight, I won by KO second round, and then I told them, listen, I can't. And they said, no, Cosmo, you did good, blah, blah. But listen, I can't. I know how I felt, and I can't. So that's okay. I went back to Brazil, and I had an offer to fight in France. And they said no. It was like 20 days after that. And they said, no, because you will fight a lot here, so you cannot fight. Like, that's okay. So the way they said I would fight like soon, like first, like 1 or 2 months. And then I got the money, like 90% for my purse, and I bought an apartment in Brazil, right? I spent like almost all my money, but that was okay because I thought like I would fight soon.
Yeah.
And then every week I was asking for a fight, asking for a fight, asking for a fight. And then after, I don't know, 6 months, they said like, oh, we have a fight for you. Nick Holtzen, 170 pounds. But listen, that's important.
Yeah.
That's just like, like
Yeah.
that's important. But I fought him already, and I knew he has good hands. And I can fight him 170 pounds Muay Thai.
Hmm.
Or I go 180 kickboxing because it's his sport. He's really good. He's one of the best in the world.
Hmm.
So they're like, no, 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 he'll not fight you heavier and never Muay Thai. It'll never happen. And they're like, okay, you can fight 172. So listen, you know how like it's like 78 kilos.
Okay.
So listen, it's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
He said like Cosmo, and then we are kind of fight like by email. But listen, I can't.
Mm.
Like I need to fight because I need money. I have like family to take care of, but like I need any other fight. I can fight MMA. I can fight anything.
Yeah.
Other fight. Like no, no, no. I remember the last email was like, if you don't fight now, I don't know when you're gonna fight.
Wow.
So for me, it's like you have to fight. And of course, I had my family, and
Yeah.
I had to fight. So I went there and I lost my first call for my entire career. I have won 104 fights, and was the only one I lost by KO.
Mm.
So of course, was like bad feelings about one championship after that.
Yeah.
And then I went there and I won the fight against Sage, like fast, like 29 seconds. Everybody, all the world was talking about that. It was like, now it's time to renew my contract.
Mm.
And then we started fight because I tell you, like, I wouldn't fight anymore. If they wouldn't like renew, I wouldn't fight anymore. But like, I don't need to fight now. And I think in the first they didn't believe, but then they're like, oh, I think he's serious because he doesn't want to fight. They
Yeah.
offer me like fights, like, no sense. They're like, no, I don't fight. I
Mm.
will not fight. I will not fight. And then I had another manager, and they start talking. But after a while, I saw it wouldn't work. Like, they start like fighting too much,
Mm.
and I was like with my manager, my coach, Chachi, who else? Matt Hume in the phone, and it's just a fight. Like we couldn't even like talk. It was just fight.
Wow.
And then I was like, you know what? In the end of the day, I'm losing money. I'm not fighting, and I need to change. So I changed to Ali, and Ali has a very good relationship with like with Chachi. So 24 hours later, I have the contract in my hands.
And the reason you're talking about when you don't want to fight at 170, it's because since they have these strict hydration protocols, you have to kind of really keep yourself light. Like you're not allowed to rehydrate. So why do you think, at least just in your personal opinion, why do you think they so badly wanted you to stay there? Why wouldn't they want you to be the healthiest version of yourself and be at the next weight up? Why do you think they just were so dead set on you having to just compete at that one weight class?
I think they need a big name to fight Nikki, and I
Ah.
for. And like I told them I can't. And of course, Nicky, like he's one of the best in the world. And of course, and then he doesn't want to like fight Muay Thai with me. Of course, don't fight Muay Thai.
Mm.
Or why he would fight heavier if he like if it would be better for me.
Yeah.
I understand his side, but the guy who was like promoting like this fight was really bad. Like I told him like, listen, I can't fight anybody anywhere, but I can't do 170 pounds. I can't.
Yeah.
So that's what happened
After
in my
your
fight.
win over Sage Northcutt in May, of last year, like I mentioned before, was there kind of like a big change for you with, say, your status in the industry or with fans of the sport? Like the UFC spent years building up Sage's name, and he was a major signing for one that brought a lot of attention to that fight. Did you like see a big change in terms of like social media following, interest from people like me to talk to you? Like did things change a little bit despite having this very impressive combat sports career even before you fought Sage?
Yeah, I got more followers, like much more followers, and I had a name already before that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Muay Thai kickboxing.
Yeah.
But a lot of people from like who likes MMA, they didn't know me. Even like I was training like Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Michael Johnson, Anthony Johnson, Eddie Alvarez. I train with everybody. You know, I help everybody like with Muay Thai. Everybody like
Mm-hmm.
wants to do Muay Thai. Even that, a lot of people didn't know me. So that's what's the difference. Like a lot of like mostly here in the U.S. Mostly in the U.S. Like people start like knowing me. You know.
Yeah. One is in a really difficult spot right now. They are like the top promotion in Asia, and they pull fighters from all the areas. They also do their events in various regions in Asia. But with this pandemic and like travel restrictions, numbers still being high in certain countries, they're kind of really hampered in using all of their talent, especially if you live in the Western Hemisphere like you do. Have you been given like any idea when you might return and what sport it might be in? Will it be MMA? Will it be kickboxing? Will it be Muay Thai?
Yeah, probably will fight Muay Thai, and I have no idea when, but I know it'll be like Muay Thai.
Hmm.
The biggest problem is like they made a show last week in Thailand, something like that, 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, and then 1 week after, Thailand, the governor from Thailand said nobody can go in like with a tourist visa, like no
Wow.
tourist until next year,
Wow.
2021. Yes.
Hmm.
So if they make like shows there, just who lives in Thailand can fight, of course, because they are there. I don't know how it will be in another country, because almost all the borders are closed. And like if I leave US now, I have to go back to Brazil, and I know I'll get stuck there
Yeah.
because the American embassy is closed. So
Yeah.
it's a mess, It's a mess. So I don't know, but I know I'll fight Muay Thai.
Having done so much already in your career in kickboxing, in Muay Thai, multi-time champion, stuff like that, is there still the same drive? Is competing in one champ, their Muay Thai, their divisions still as interesting, still exciting, still motivates? Or as part of you as a competitor, is there part of you that says, MMA, I haven't conquered that. I have a good record. I just knocked out this star fighter. Is part of you not drawn to MMA, just the challenge of it because you haven't had that success in it because you haven't been in it so much?
That's hard to say. Like I like to fight. Of course, I don't like to train anymore. So like 20 years doing the same
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
I like to fight a lot, but it's not like before. Like oh, I'm crazy. I want to fight. No, it's how I said, it's my job. You
Yeah.
know, I have my lifestyle, man. Like I like to go to the beach. I like to stay with my kids.
Hmm.
And of course, if I have to fight, I will fight. If I have a fight coming up, I will train. I will train because I hate lose. I don't want to lose. I want to
Yeah.
and that's it. But nothing like special with MMA or anything like that.
Now, I'm always a big fan of nicknames. I love nicknames. Now, your nickname, Good Boy, considering how ferocious of a fighter you are and knocking, this is what you've done in combat sports. Good Boy doesn't make me think what you are as a fighter. How does Good Boy end up being your nickname? I really feel confident saying you did not give yourself that name at all.
I remember my first fight outside Brazil. I
Hmm.
was in Portugal, and I fought a Super League. Do you remember Super League kickboxing?
Hmm.
So it was my first fight, my first international fight, and then I won because I need a guy in the face, and I opened his face,
Oh,
and
okay.
the ref stopped it, right?
Hmm.
So after fight, few friends or like talking, like eating something in a restaurant, and they said, "Man, we need a nickname. Everybody has a nickname. You need a nickname." And
Yeah.
then everybody was like, "Oh no, it's a killer knee." Uh, like just I was like crazy nicknames, like
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
And then one guy was just like, "Listen, listen, listen, listen." Like, no, 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 man, you cannot be like the killer knee or the no, cannot be that because Cosmo's a good boy. He's a good boy. And then like, oh, that's so
Ah.
good. Like, and it's not like that.